All right, welcome everybody to another video or stream. Forgot we're live actually right now. But yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to go live. This was not planned, was not intended. But you know, you guys said on Instagram you wanted me to go live, so I thought, why not? Let's go live. Let's talk about the game going into the next games. What do you mean, Angel? I forgot. I'm right here. I'm live right now. What are you talking about? We're live right now. I did not forget. Everybody that's hopping in, everyone's watching, make sure to smash a like on the stream, on the video, whatever it may be. Let's do that now because Ryan Kent is our Lord and Savior. Let's get everyone's thoughts on the match. I watched bits and pieces of it. This was a game that going into it, we talked about the Sounders needed to get 3 points, and definitely after that red card, Sounders 100% should have won the game. They should be clean. They should be stat padding at that point. Kent is him, bruv, my fellow Englishman. Yeah, I will say we can talk about this a little bit. Galaxy losing 7-0. Chupo-moting. Chupo-moting. Yeah, that's bad. That was bad, bad, bad. But let's talk about tonight's game. Obviously, I think the Sounders were very fortunate for the Dynamo to get that red card. Was it a red card? Absolutely not, because if, let's say, we received that red card, don't even get me started on what everyone on social media would have been saying. But nonetheless, we got the rub of the green. And after that, it was just cruise control. I mean, as I said, going into the match, either way, I think Sounders needed to get 3 points. Anything less than 3 points was non-negotiable going into this game against Houston, especially with the tough stretch of games we're about to have. And after the red card, I was like, okay, time to stat pad. Time to get some goals, time to get some people some assists, and that's what we kind of did. Rusnak, the big stat padder here, but Kent and De La Vega getting assists. We need to have Peppo on the right and Kent on the left. Rothrock isn't as good as either of them, 1,000%. With Peppo, Georgie, Kent dynamic, which we just haven't had in years. Exactly. Let's talk about this. Ryan Kent, guys. I know this might be very early to say, but when it comes to talking about Ryan Kent, as I said, it might be early to judge. It might be early to say. I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I just have to say it. He gives me reminiscent vibes of Obafemi Martins. You know, he has come in and he's become a difference maker. He makes the team fun to watch. He makes other players around him better. He takes players on as that creative element that we've been missing for 3 seasons now, in my opinion. That is what Ryan Kent has brought us. And this is the type of signing I've been wanting us to make now for years. This is not a guy that has played in MLS. You know, he's not an in-league trade. He's an outside dude coming in who has pedigree, who has played across the world, in England, in Scotland, in Turkey, who brings a different type of dynamic that we've been missing in this team. Reminiscent of Obafemi Martins. He was a guy that was a European traveler, played in Spain, England, Italy, but was quick and had that flair. Yeah, maybe he didn't crack it in Europe, but when he came to MLS, he was magic. And it reminds me a lot of Ryan Kent, a lot of Ryan Kent. And this is what I've been asking for from this team. Yes, sometimes we might not hit it with these type of signings. You know, we'll have the odd bad, poor signing when we look, you know, on the outskirts of MLS. But when we've taken these risks, you win some, you lose some. But when it hits, it hits. That's what we used to do. We used to push the envelope. We used to take risks. It's good to have MLS type players in your team, but these are the type of players like Ryan Kent that will push you over the edge. I feel like the additions of Kim Ki-hee and Ryan Kent have changed the dynamic of this team. And what are things that Kim and Ryan have similarities about them? Is there guys who have pedigree across the pond in Asia, in Europe, and they add a different dynamic to this team. They add a different spice. They add a different flavor. And that's what I like about them a lot. That is what I love about them so much. They add competition. They up the level of this team defensively, offensively. And that is why we have now seen the Sounders climb the standings. I'm not asking for us to go get Messi, to go get Griezmann, to go get Ronaldo. That's not what I meant by those things. People are like, Sean, you're fucking crazy. Like, we're not that type of team. No, that's not what I meant. But the type of ambition that we used to have. You know, you brought in the Obas, you brought in the Mauro Rosales, the Freddie Monteros, the Gonzo Pinedas. Those are the type of guys from across different regions around the world, from CONCACAF to Europe to Africa, that add that spice. And that's what we've done with Ryan Kent. And I don't want to also, one thing is, I've been seeing people giving credit to Craig for this whole thing. If Paul Arriola doesn't get hurt, we would have never made this signing. This is one big thing that people do not realize. Kent would have never happened if Paul Arriola gets hurt. Craig Weibel is not looking at Kim Ki-hee. I can tell you guys from sources, Kim is the one who is pushing the move to come back to Seattle. Again, similar to Kent, he kind of fell on our lap. If this was all on Craig Weibel, he'd be only looking at MLS. But this is why I've been wanting us to look across the pond and to bring in these type of guys. I genuinely think this is me being the most positive I feel like I've been in so long, because I feel like if we bring in, it has shown when we've had Danny Musovski in this great stretch that we've had, it shows all the Sounders need is a true 9. Danny Musovski fits what this team needs, fits our playing style, fits what our wingers need, what our midfielders need, what this whole team needs. Imagine if we bring in a guy like Kent, you know, who has that outside pedigree that would translate in MLS as a top-class player. We bring in that lethal number 9, that top-class number 9 that we've been crying out for, have him with Kent, De La Vega, and you have Georgie and Rothrock as, you know, supplemental pieces there. Under him with Obed, Christian, Leyva. I genuinely think we are now MLS Cup contenders. If you just bring in that last piece, bring in that lethal striker. And why, in my opinion, Danny Musovski has been so good, but I don't think he's the end all be all. I don't want us to think, and this includes Craig and Brody, I know you're waiting. I'm going to bring you in right now. Just give me 1 second to finish this rant, positive rant I'm on. Danny Musovski, he's the type of player that's in the Sounders DNA. He is our Will Bruin, our Chad Barrett. He has filled in that role, and that is good. But that's not the end-all, be-all, in my opinion. He is, like what I said, the reason we've had success in the past, reason we won our supporter shields, our MLS Cups, because we had guys like Chad Barrett, Will Bruin, and that's what Danny Musovski is. Now, all we are missing, it's so crazy because of the lack of transfers we have made for so long. Who would have known that 2-3 pieces like De La Vega when he's healthy, Kent, and just that one top-class striker is all we'll need, and I genuinely think we are now back to being MLS Cup contenders. Brody, I'm going to add you in, and then, but yeah, everyone welcome in Brody. I remember last time we ended the stream, everyone said Brody needs to oil up. Let me also put in my headphones 1 second. Let me throw these puppies in. And then we're going to start answering your guys' questions, okay? Rant's over. That's probably going to be clipped and go on the interwebs. All right, Brody, you're in. Welcome. Let me quickly also
people?
A little bit.
Whew.
I apologize, too. I saw yours and J. Ross's text. I just put a post on Instagram. People wanted us to go live. Everyone wanted us to go live. Like, it was like a 90% yeses, so I just did it.
I was not expecting it, but as soon as I get the text to go live about Ryan Kent, dude, I'm there. Any chance to talk about Kentinho, I'm there.
Kentinho, yes. I think I've settled, too, that I'll probably get Kent on the back of my Sailor Sea kit. Also, what do you guys think of these graphics? I stole this type of style, I won't lie, from Football Asada, but I'm a big fan of their page. I love their type of social media posting. Big shout out to Chris. He's never going to watch this fucking video, but love the guy. He's a great content creator for all things Mexican football. Let's go through these questions. We'll let Brody now go on his tangent too, see if it agrees with me, disagrees with me, and then we will look into the future games. Okay, let's see this. We need to have Peppo on the right. Okay, I already answered that one. Our winger depth is looking good with Peppo, Georgie, Kent, dynamic attackers, which we just haven't had. Kent and Kim were game changers, 1000%. And and again, I'm going to reiterate this. You know why they are game changers? They're not within MLS. These are guys that have been successful in Europe and Asia. This is what I'm saying, man. Why can't we look more outside of the league? Again, it's okay to have, we've already have a plenty of MLS pieces. Look when you add these. Dude, I swear, if we brought in like a Latte Lot or a Danke, fucking it would have been game over. If we brought in one of that type of striker, it'd be game fucking over for the rest of the league.
Just look at our best players just in general. Just look at our best players across time. Either they came from Europe or we brought them in, and then guess where they went? To Europe. You look at Dempsey, Oba, or not Europe, but just abroad in general.
Yes.
Ladero, Rui Diaz was not in the MLS. Montero came from
Colombia.
Abroad, and then we, sent him to Europe. It's. I feel like because look, we all want the MLS to grow. We all want the MLS to get better, right? I think we're all in agreement. But there's just like a group of people that are so like, it's like a cult almost. Like they get mad that you don't like or you want to aspire more than just a move interleague. Like there's people that, even this move, for example, for Ryan Kent. Like there's people that are like, there's guys around the league we could have got. I literally saw this was a real thing. There's guys around the league we could have gotten, like a Julian Gressel, like these names. I'm like, no.
We already did that with Paul. Bro. We did that with Paul. That's good.
Exactly. Enough. Like it's okay to. There's more leagues than the MLS, bro. Like getting a guy from, especially on a free like this too. It's okay to make these moves for him and Kim. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the last video, which if you haven't, you should check it out. We kind of graded each off-season move so far. Bro, this is why I gave Kim Geehee an A. I don't care that he's old as dirt. I really don't care.
I don't care he's old as dirt.
Just another class performance, another fantastic.
Here, let me see if I can. Here we go. This is the video Brody's referring to, by the way, the one that has Kent on it. Go check that. It's actually doing pretty well. I have a weird theme of Kent and red eyes. This is the video he's referring to. Yeah.
What I find funny is that, like, yeah, I mean, that is the only knock you can have on the Kim Geehee signing is the age. But dude, he moves better than Reagan. He moves like a 20-year-old compared to Reagan.
This is why I love the additions of Kent and Kim, because like people have been like in this like Seattle bubble of like nothing wrong with waxing lyrical about Reagan and fucking Rothrock and whatnot, because I think they're great pieces to have among the team, but they were like thinking they were like the next coming of gods. And every time I would come out with a video being like, bro, these guys are good, but like, this is not what's going to push us to the next level, which obviously shows. Yeah. And look, when you bring in Kim and Kent, everyone's just like, bro, what the fuck have we been doing? Like, it's night and day different.
When an old veteran, because that's what Kim is. He's an old veteran. When an old veteran can come in and do at least the same job, if not better.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Whereas like, when Rothrock comes off, Kent or De La Vega come on, you see the gulp in quality, the complete difference in quality. Yep. But when Kim Geehee comes on, Reagan comes off, they're either the same or Kim is better. That's kind of how it's been this season.
Yep. Just goes to show when you sign dynamic attackers, the attack doesn't look boring and predictable. Oh, dude, MLS is a league where speed is a big factor, and Kent brings that quickness. Dude, Kent and Oba, honestly, I know this is, again, I already brought it up earlier, a lot of reminiscing between the two of them. Both were cracked FIFA cards. That's how I knew about both of them when we signed them. No, legit. Both really, because why were they cracked? Because they were just pacey players. Yeah. And honestly, I think Kent can go down as an MVP contender if he keeps this up. Honestly. This guy could be sought at as one of the best wingers in the league if he keeps this up. If we bring in a legitimate lethal striker, keep Musovski as the backup. I don't know what's going to happen with Morris. He's not honestly in this conversation for me anymore. And you bring in a legitimate number 9, I think Kent's going to flourish. The attack's going to flourish. This team is back if we do that. We are just one fucking piece away.
Look, I agree, by the way. I agree. Like, I'm on the get yourself. I mean, that's what I was banging the drum about all offseason. Get yourself a Cucho level guy. Now it's get yourself a Denke level guy. Get yourself this. it's not gonna happen with the contracts that we have. We gotta luck out. The
So
only
hard.
thing I see happening is if we sign a U22 player and that dude just hits. That's like the only scenario where I think this could happen. But like I just unfortunately we've shot ourselves in the foot, and we have to bring it up time and time again. The incentive, the DP incentive, has shot ourselves in the foot again. You know, and to talk about Kent, like just even the MVP level thing. What's funny about today things weren't going his way. Like he a couple times he lost the ball, made a couple like fouls that led to the goal, and then he just finds that one moment. That's what
But
we
that's
had
an
been missing
MVP
from this team.
caliber player.
That's my point. That's what
Yeah.
we had been missing on this team is the guy who, when it's a stalemate and things are boring and things aren't really going our way, who can just find that bit of magic. He just runs through 3 or 4 guys, plays the ball across for Rusnak, who's, by the way, he was player of the match, which kind of crazy to me. Like, I will sit here and say, like, I know we've been critical on the Rusnak move, and I still am about it, the whole
Yeah.
DP resigning thing. I think he works well with Kent, and he's going to be a very solid, good player with Kent and De La Vega, who can hopefully stay healthy. With these pieces around him, I think he'll flourish. But like, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy when they gave him player of the game today. I'm like, bro, look at both goals. Look at the guy doing
Just
everything to set
tapped
up
in.
the
Yeah.
tap in.
Yeah, 2 tap-ins. That's been Rusnak's thing this year. He's I think what 3 or 4 of his goals out of like the 4 or 5 he has are just tap-ins. It's the wingers doing all the work, and then Rusnak.
Dude, that's fine. I can take it.
I know. It
Literally,
doesn't
if it's leading
matter.
to 3-4-1 wins.
Okay, let's read Jack's thing. Jack is popping off the chat. I don't want Jordan up top ever again. Big up Moose for actually doing a job. Okay, what do we think? Dude, 5 goals. He's gonna break the record. If Danny Musovski scores the next game, he's gonna be the first ever Sounders player to score in 6 straight matches. That is just consistency. Isn't that the big thing we criticize Jordan about? Consistency.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane to think about, considering where he was in the depth chart and every fan opinion about
Yeah.
him before the season. To see where he's, bro, I mean, even Morris or Montero don't have that record of 5
Nope.
straight.
Nope.
He's up there with like
Oba,
it's
Rui
insane,
Diaz.
bro.
No, I think Freddie does. I actually think Freddie does. Let me
I
see
don't
if I
think
can
Freddie's on
find it.
5. I don't think he's
I'll
on
find it.
5.
Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. I'll find it. But yeah, what do we do now? Surely even if Morris comes back. Okay, let's say. Okay, so
Can I
we
tell you
think
what's going to happen?
yeah, I know Morris will be back as the starter. Yeah,
Morris will come back. Musovski won't score for a game, and then Morris will come back.
which is
That's what's gonna
not
happen.
fair in my opinion at all.
Yeah, I mean, dude, at this point, yeah, no, it's not fair.
It's not fair
And
because
I
this
think
is
you would actually get the best out of Morris if
okay. Here you
you
go.
sat him.
So it is Freddie. Here you go. Here's the stat. I'll blow it up a little bit for everyone. So yeah, it was Rui Diaz. This is dude. He just entered an elite class. Oh, I blew it up a little too much. I'm sorry, guys. Here you go.
Either way, with Montero in or not in that list, that's only elite sounder forwards.
That's elite forwards. Dude, honestly, dude, Danny Musovski's literally just this is good, man. Okay, we're going back to the recipe of success. Kent is a regen of fucking Oba, and Musovski's a regen of Chad Barra.
You know what this means, though, right? It means that Weibel's not going to sign a fucking striker. That's the only.
I know that's the only problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate that's what we have to say though, and I hate that. I really, really hate that. But with anyone with 2 brain cells, like everyone in the chat right now. By the way, everybody, smash the like button on the stream right now if you haven't already. Smash the like button. A big difference between Kim and Reagan is that Kim plays fast. He doesn't put his foot on the ball and slow everyone down. Yes.
Exactly.
So sign another English player. Hattie Kane.
Taco Kim made a great point right here.
Okay, here you go. Oh wait, we're skipping far ahead. I know I'm so far behind in the chat.
I know I did skip ahead, but just
I
agree with this so much. Last year, everyone talks about Jordan Morris's career year last year. They forget that the first half of the season he had 1 goal in like 14, 15 games. So if Musovski keeps playing red hot, and then Morris comes back and just takes the spot immediately, that'd be so unfair.
That just shows, which I already know is true.
That would just kill Musovski's confidence, probably. Like, dude, I'm bagging in goals for fun, and I'm still getting taken off. Like, what the?
But we all know, like, this is a big problem Brian has. He has favorites. It's so clear. Like, there's no question about it.
Yeah, it gets to like because it gets to a point because there's a fine line between keeping somebody in because you want to show them, hey, I have confidence in you, and kind of build them up, versus like I'm just gonna play you regardless of what you do.
And I think
And
that, but he
I was
has
just gonna
that for
say
the Seattle
he doesn't
boys.
recognize that line sometimes. Like he sometimes falls towards the favorites side.
Yeah, and I think that's especially prevalent with the Seattle boys.
Yeah, and I think because last year, like, we did have Musovski, but he was stinky. But we didn't, in general, there was no competition for him. But with
No,
Musovski playing like this, he's gotta be willing to make that decision to keep playing Musovski if he
100%.
keeps playing like this.
Yeah, imagine, does Musovski do the respect celebration if he scores on Wednesday against LAFC?
I mean, how many of the fans there even remember
Remember
that he
him?
played for them? You
Because
know?
I don't even think he played for them when there was fans in the stadium. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I mean,
We need a Fry apology. What do you mean?
dude, the only time we've
But
talked about Fry is when I put him on the tier list twice.
I mean, this season. I mean, back then. I mean, yeah, I was talking about Thomas starting over him, but I'm okay with being proven wrong there. But the thing is
because he
you know
stunk to
why?
start the year last year.
Yeah,
What's the
he
problem with
did.
that?
Yeah, but the thing is to go back to this point that we've been talking about is because there was competition, it lit a fire under his belly.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, Brian has already said that he doesn't give away spots due to injury. Yeah, Brian, that's not it. Okay, I need to catch back. Okay, it's Taco Kid also said Kent is a class above the rest of our players and shows why he should bring in more quality players. Doesn't have to be Messi, Suarez, but players like see. This is how we should be looking at it. Exactly.
Bro.
This is how we should be looking at it. You bring in a
Taco
guy
Kid
like
knows
Kent.
ball.
The thing is, Taco Kid always knows ball. That's why he's one of the best subs. And Jack as well. Big shout out to you also for being here because I know he's watching this from England. And life is good, man. Like we could be like Austin right now, who are doing a space. If you guys see it in the bottom right corner, talking about how they got weenie slapped by FC Cincinnati because of Evander and Danke, who I would have taken both of those players.
Yeah, imagine those two in the team. You take out
Bro, we would have
Rusnak, you
been
take
oh
out
my god.
Morris.
Imagine Danke, Evander, Kent, Della Vega.
Bang!
Bang!
It's so fucking. What's so funny is that
We could have done it.
like in the MLS, I feel like I don't watch every team play, but I feel like the biggest problem is just the overall kind of squad strength. I feel like some teams have really top end players, but the rest of the starters are kind of lacking.
Yeah.
Our supporting cast, like non D, like just TAM to
Yeah.
non,
Yes.
like just senior squad, even Pedro, who's a young DP, which means a cheaper salary cap it. All those guys we fucking nailed. It's the
Yes.
DPs
That we fucking blow nuts.
yeah, which Rusnak is not like a complete L. It's just like it is what it is. It's a C minus. It's a C. It's a C. You know, at least for this year. You know, but and then Morris as a DP, it's just like we could have had such a great squad, bro.
I know.
Like legendary squad.
I know.
Oh
Because that's because just looking at short term, like just very small sample size. Gavin says Rusnak C, bro. What the what do you mean? What are we talking about here, Gavin? Also, I really like your photo. It's a good headshot. I just tuned in and I'm already disappointed. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Okay, here. I'll explain what I mean by C. We've talked about it before in other videos, but just the entire
did you say he was a C?
No, what I was referring to was the Rusnak deal. Just bringing him back
renewing him on a DP.
2-3 years. It's a C. That move to me is it's safe. It's solid. You know what? C plus. How about that? Does that make you
feel
does
better?
that make you happy?
I think
Gavin? He's a B player, don't get me wrong. As a player, he's not bad. He's a good player. It's just the problem is he's not the designated player that you would want for an MLS Cup winning team.
I think Vamos Sounders kind of nails it a little bit.
I mean, I hate to say it's not like I'm it's not like I watch Rusnak play and I'm like, please suck, please suck. You know,
Yeah.
like I want him to be good. I want him to show up against, you know, in big games against big teams. And he just hasn't yet.
And we also have to admit, like, for a DP contract, you just want something better. That's basically the thing. Because you can't, like, you can. What
Like,
else did he get? I think we just had to sign him on a DP deal, or someone else. No.
clutch player, brother.
Gavin, we can't
I
confirm.
can't.
We did a live with Fabian Rankel, and we asked him. He's a reporter for MLS. Great guy. We asked him, what teams would sign Albert Rusnak on a DP deal? His answer, I quote, maybe one. And we were that maybe one. So
Here's the
no.
thing, though, is like, because we've seen Rusnak, you know, he's putting up pretty good numbers so far. Look at his goals that have been scored. It's him being the sum of the parts around him type of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
2 goals today put on a platter because Ryan Kent beats 4 guys and Pedro de la Vega beats 2 guys and plays it across. That's the problem. Like when we didn't have that, where was Rusnak leading this team to the MLS Cup final, to wins against big teams? Where was he when we didn't have the Ryan Kents and a healthy De La Vega, you know?
Okay, one thing I want to say is, Gavin, we weren't even talking about Rusnak until you brought him up. I was not even the premise of the conversation. I also want to say something too. Yes, Jack and Vamos Sounders. It's just an opinion. I want to say this, and I want to get this off my chest. Rusnak actually has a very special place in my heart. A lot of people don't know this per se. Brody knows about it. So for everyone in the chat, just let me cook for 1 sec. Back when I was 16 years old, like I was a big football fan. Like I knew about players around the league, and like I loved when the league brought in players like Rusnak. And I remember when the Sounders played RSL in 2016. I wanted to get an autograph from Rusnak, so I printed out a little photo of him when he was playing, I think for Groningen. And I went over to the tunnel after the game to get it signed. And I was the only one asking for his, like I was calling his name. He came right over. And Rusnak gave me his shirt. He was the first ever player's like shirt I ever got. And like, fuck this. I'm gonna see if I can find the photo. And he was the first ever player, like jersey I ever got. And Rusnak forever since then had like a very special place in my heart. So when we signed him, I was really happy about it because he was a player in MLS that I always liked.
I
I'm
can
just
vouch for this, by the way.
and I
Very
can
hard.
and I want to like emphasize it's just because in modern MLS, yes. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'll pull the shirt up. You guys are gonna see like my whole outfit. Here you go. This is a long, and it's signed by him too. Okay, everyone, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna find it here. I have a lot of match issued shirts back here, so let me find this one. Here you go.
I've seen it.
You can even still see his sweat stains on it, and you guys can see kind of the outline in like white. And it's signed by him right here. Okay? So he always had a special place in my heart. But I'm fucking I'm realistic, okay? I'm just a realistic person. I'm not saying Rusnak's a fucking bum, nothing like that. But
that's the problem with the fan base sometimes, is that you can't have any criticism with some guys without them just saying, you're hating, bro. You're just hating. You're hating. You know? There's even like, for example, bro, I absolutely love Ryan Kent. But today he gave up the foul that led to a goal. He shouldn't have done that. You know, there's criticism. Do I all of a sudden am I a Ryan Kent hater now? No. It's okay to have criticism of anybody. And I just want to put this up really quick because I just want to just clarify this point. When I said C, I was talking about the designated player contracts that last for 3 years until he's 33. In general, I think that move was a C move. It was safe. It's not elite, but it's not horrible. There's certainly worse DPs than Albert Rusnak. And as an actual just player himself, I think he's a good player. I think he's a B player. But the C was referring to the contract that he was given.
Yes. Like we wouldn't have mind keeping Rusnak on a cut rate deal.
But like It's just crazy. I don't know. Like any sort of criticism is just labeled as hate. Like, bro, when he
Yeah.
scored the 2 goals today, I'm jumping up off my couch going, "Come on, Albert!" You know,
Here you
like
go. This is the photo of old me getting the shirt. That was right when he gave it to me. Does the fit look good? Absolutely not. Do I look good? Absolutely not. But here you go. For everybody that thinks I'm a certified Albert Rusnak hater, I was a fan of him when he came into the league back in the day. So there you go. Thank you. We got him. We got him, folks. Big shout out to you guys. See, this is not. It's not a hate. It's just a
But I agree with
conversation.
his second point. I agree with his second point.
What was the second point?
I'm more upset about the
Oh,
JMO deal. I'm more upset
well, no.
about it too. I
But the
think.
thing is, though, it's like it's almost like you become like. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about now, especially with Musovski playing really well, about how like JMO at DP is like looking really, really bad, and people were grilling everyone was grilling that person and people that talk about that, and it's just like it's almost like a haram thing to talk about. Any credit in the big 2025, and it's like haram to talk anything bad about Jordan Morris. Like, you're just instant, and I already know we're gonna get a bunch of dislikes because we're talking about this shit again, and I didn't want to. See, again, another question. Does Morris start when he's back? The moose is very loose right now.
No.
No, I think no. We all could say everyone. You okay? How about everyone in the chat? Let us know when Rusnak is fit in 6 weeks. We're already negative 12 goal differential going into the match against PSG, and let's say Moose is close to 10 goals by that point. Does Jordan Morris start?
No, and I'm somebody who's, despite the fact that Musovski's been so hot, I'm still on the side of when he's healthy, Jordan Morris gives us the best chance to win at striker. He gives us a dynamic that Musovski doesn't have. And even I'm telling you, when Musovski's playing like this, Morris should not just walk back in and start. No, absolutely
Damn,
not.
dude. Look at what Jack said. I'd start Oz over him. Fucking hell. Okay, let's see
It's
what
funny. I
everyone else
actually
is.
rate Ozaze too, though. Not gonna
lie. Gavin says, hell nah. The thing is, people think we are saying Jordan Morris shouldn't be a DP. They think we are blaming Morris, but we're actually blaming the front office because obviously it's not Jordan's fault. That's a very just clean, common sense answer
but
right there.
the thing is it kind of a little bit is because he's in there asking for that money.
That's true.
Like he's in there trying to
No, he
negotiate
did.
that money.
I also want to clarify people that think that the whole like Roldan Morris going in trying to get DP deals back in 2022 wasn't true. It is 1,000% true. Like I've gone inside source that is 100% what happened.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, fair play to them. I mean, they're just guys trying to make money.
And that's fine. But we should. It's like similar to Rusnak's. We don't need to be going on all fours to be like, yes, peg me. You can have the DP deal, and you can have my misses with him. By the way, everybody, if you haven't already, after our whole Rusnak tangent, smash the like button on the stream. Smash the like button.
Bro, seeing how this stuff has played out, I don't know. I see what I'm curious to know is like with the Ferreira move, for example.
Bro,
Like
I'm curious what that incentive is.
Was the goal to have him be the 9 and then it just didn't work out, or was this the vision the whole time, was to have him kind of be a rotational attacking option? Because if this is the case, why did we even trade for him? Why didn't we just bring back Ladero on a veteran deal who can actually play the 10 role, serviceably?
Bro,
You think
are we
telling me
we're gonna get into this whole Ladero thing?
No, well, I'm just saying.
No, it's not a bad thing, but it's just like because we were just talking about it like a few days ago.
Because I'm
for
looking
all
at
of
move.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
No, I'm just looking at this whole roster construction talk. Just had me thinking about like what was the vision with Ferreira? Was it to have him play, up top, or was this the thing the whole time to have him kind of, try out this new formation and then have him be a rotational cam with Rusnak? Because if that's the case, why did we bring him in on a TAM deal and all this stuff when we could have had just Ladero as a backup for cheap? And then we'd have more roster flexibility because then we could bring in a TAM forward who could, like what Ryan Kent's making is kind of probably close to TAM money, At least without Ferreira, we could have had the flexibility to bring in a 9, a true 9, who could actually be
Ben says
this
Ladero was awful last year. Awful's
awful. But here's the okay, he
okay.
wasn't awful, but
Yeah.
obviously he was not Ladero of old.
No, of
But the thing
course.
is we weren't paying him to be that. So what's the? He was like the quality of like an MLS role player, and that's fine because that's what we would have paid him to be. You know.
Let me see if I can find Ladero's stats from last season. Give me 1 sec.
I think he had 10 assists. 10 or 11
Ladero
assists.
had a total. So Ladero had 1 goal and 11 assists last season, which is only like 3 or 4 goal contributions off what Morris got last year. And we consider that an awful year.
And by the way, Morris played so many minutes. Like I guarantee you, Ladero was on the bench for half those games.
Again, I don't want this to be like we want Ladero back, but there is perspective to things. Like Nico was gonna come back for fucking nothing.
Exactly.
Like I'd rather have Nico of old for no money than Rusnak. I know this is gonna be such a hot take. I'd rather have Nico for the league minimum than Rusnak at a DP.
Yeah, I would too, because that gives you the flexibility to sign the future, like a designated player in that position. Yep. So yeah, a lot of it, guys. It's not just like Ladero versus Rusnak or Ladero versus Ferreira or who versus who. It's all a roster construction thing, bro. Players cost money. This is a salary cap league. Like, yeah, for example, Rusnak is a B player, and he's, he's a good player. I don't hate him, but paying that kind of guy 2.5, 3 mil, it's like,
I will say I agree with Jack. His last season at Seattle was rough. But also one thing I want to say is this is not talked about. So I fuck it. We'll talk a little bit about it now. I talked about it in our group chat. I spoke to someone that's very close to Ladero's camp just a few days ago. And he was just kind of spilling the beans to me about how Ladero's last season went for the Sounders. Apparently, Ladero for the last season of his contract, so what was this, 2023? 2023? His last year with Sounders? Kept asking the club to talk about what they want to do with him in the future. And they were just like, we'll talk about things come the end of the year, and just kept waiting till the very last game of the season. He kept telling him, hey, I know I'm not a DP level player anymore. I just want to, have a farewell year next year. I'm cool with going to the league minimum, do what you guys got to do, and this and that. But apparently Brian, more specifically, and Craig kept telling him, oh, we'll talk about. And then the last game came and they just told Nico, like, yeah, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to do anything for you. Bye-bye. So I do feel bad about those circumstances. I know his last season was tough, but I bet in the back of his head, things were just so uncertain for him. And I do really feel bad. And it kind of goes back to Rui Diaz too. I feel really bad with how things ended with both of them. But then we go on like all fours for players like Rusnak and like giving Jordan the DP incentive. Like that's the thing is I don't like when I find out about these things. Like we find out with Rui Diaz, he wanted to terminate his deal midway through the year. He had offers. Clubs were actually still interested in him. The club were like, nah, we'd rather just not pay that money, let you write out your deal, this and that. And yeah, it left a sour taste when I heard about that.
Well,
exactly.
Well, I just want to say real quick, like I know there's people saying that they don't want Ladero back, regardless of the contract. Would you rather have Ferreira on his current deal and how he currently plays, or would you rather have Ladero and a TAM striker?
Or even, let's even get it better. Would you rather have Ladero on the league minimum, a free TAM spot, and a free DP spot? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just how I look at it. But again, the thing is what I don't think people understand is Ladero was cool taking the back seat. Like that's the big takeaway both times at the end of his contract and when he wanted to come back. Cool. He understood he wasn't the guy anymore.
Yeah. He was fine with being the cool uncle on the bench.
Yep.
The Tio on the bench. Yep.
Just like Freddie.
Exactly. The
They
cool
just
uncle to
want
all the
it.
young kids on the team. That's what his role would have been, and then come in and because I mean you're telling me Ladero playing next to Kent and healthy De La Vega with the pivot behind him. You're telling me that Ladero couldn't be serviceable for cheap? Like,
And then you have
no
the
way.
space to
He'd be
bring in a
fine.
striker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's a point that someone brought in. So Gavin talked about the chemistry with Areola and Ferreira. The thing is the big thing is
Against
we would have
Antigua,
never
that's the
we
biggest
huh?
thing for me. Well, I just that chemistry between them, both games were against
We're against
Antigua.
Antigua. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
People keep forgetting about this. It was against and again, we would have never had Kent if Paul never got hurt. And at this point, I don't know what Paul's he's not playing winger for us. He's so far behind the depth chart at this point. He's like the fifth string winger. He's just here just to maybe play wing back.
Yeah, Paul. I will say though, if Paul stayed healthy, like he would have that formation that we were playing with the 5 back or the 3 back with the wing backs or whatever.
Yes.
He would have suited that position very, very well, and he was playing well in that. But obviously, you'd rather have a guy like Ryan Kent, of course, over
Yes,
him.
of course. No question. Let's conclude this. Okay, let's talk about the future games, guys and girls. I don't know. I don't know who's all in here. There might be a woman. My girlfriend might be in here watching. We don't know. Okay. We have Portland next. Oh shoot. I forgot a game. Here you go. I'm sorry. Okay. Wednesday, actually. Wednesday against LAFC. I think this could finally be the time with how the team is playing, with the formation that we have, with how Musovski, Kent, De La Vega are playing. If De La Vega, Kent, and Musovski are the starting 3 offensive players for us against LAFC, I think we finally get our first ever win in LA against LAFC in the MLS regular season. Because LAFC is a wounded animal, and our attack looks monstrous if those 3 are starting. Those are our 3 best attackers, no fucking question. I do not care if we have Portland as well on the weekend. Start them back-to-back games. If you close up shop like you've done in multiple games in the first half, because I think you can do this against LAFC. LAFC is a down bad dog right now. They are down bad. You play them 60, 70 minutes, we could be up 2-0. Let the rest of the guys close out the game. Rest them for Portland. Do the same shit against Portland. Bang, bang, 6 points. You go to Dallas, 6 points. I think we might get a draw against San Diego. Even though Minnesota are good, we always clap them because Minnesota just don't know how to play in Seattle. We probably lose away at Vancouver. But that is a fucking great run of form if we play the right attackers. Kent has to start every single game. Musovski has to start every single game. I am worried, though. I don't want to totally fucking wash him out before the Club World Cup. So maybe the games against San Diego, Vancouver that are less likely to get 3 points, maybe you rotate a little bit there. But LAFC Portland, getting 6 points in those games would be fucking massive, especially LAFC, because we've never won there in the regular season.
I'm worried about Pedro. That's just the biggest thing. Like I want,
With his one
obviously,
little macaroni hamstring.
yeah, exactly, precisely. I mean, 10 days, 3 games. Like we're gonna have to see more of Rothrock and Georgie. But now that that's the thing though is like now that we have Kent, Pedro can have a game where he plays, 45 minutes or 30 minutes if we have a midweek game.
I will be, by the way, at the Portland game. This is the only Sounders match I will be attending this year. Is there a watch party for the Portland game in Seattle? No idea. No idea. Brody will be live though. Since I'll be at the game, Brody's gonna run a live stream post game again for Portland. So everyone be prepared for that. Brody's gonna cook up some magic for you all for that.
Yes, sir.
I think maybe against Portland we start Rothrock or Georgie. We should start. Okay, one thing I will say is Georgie should start against Portland if you're gonna rotate the wingers because every time he's played against Portland, he has looked super good. Like I think about the game that really put him like on the map for us was when we played Portland away last year, and he came on with like 10 minutes and created like 3 clear cut chances, and everyone's like, "Start Georgie, start Georgie, start Georgie."
Yeah, especially if we're gonna stick with the 4-2-3-1, because why fucking would we not stick with that formation? Then I would obviously want Georgie 100%.
All right, here you go. Brody, will you oil up if we get out of the group in the Club World Cup? I think that's a
Yes,
definite yes. Yeah,
yes,
that's
I
a
will.
definite
I
yes.
will absolutely. I would absolutely. That is absolutely worth oiling up.
Brody, if we
Absolutely.
beat PSG, you have to oil. What do we think, guys? Everyone like the stream right now if you haven't already, and let us know in the comments of the video once what the stream after it becomes a video. Does Brody oil up if we get out of the group or beat PSG? I think he's cool with either of those two. The thing is
Either.
the PSG one's an interesting one because it could be at a point where Sounders are like have 0 points, PSG have 6, so they might rotate their team.
So you're telling me there was a
So
chance?
They might throw it.
You're telling me there's a chance that I might
That we
have to
see
oil
some
up,
baby oil on Brody.
bro? I would absolutely oil up. It'd be worth it. We beat potentially at the bare minimum Champions League finalists.
We beat the Champions League runner-ups.
At the bare minimum, and then we get 2 mil on top of that, dude. Absolutely, of course.
I will also confirm PSG will not be winning the Champions League because Interemi we trust and Inter is winning it. So yeah, suck my balls.
He has it on good authority. Per Mediterranean. I don't know if I said his name right. I probably butchered his name.
Danny Musovski outclasses Donnarumma any day. Bro, if Danny Musovski scores against fucking Donnarumma. Okay, if Danny Musovski even gets 1 goal. That's kind of crazy. That would be.
Is that not the biggest, one of the biggest achievements of any striker in club history?
The thing is like people wax lyrical about that friendly back in 2017 against West Ham when Jordan scored twice against them. Don't get me wrong, it was great, but that was a really bad West Ham team. Like that was like one of the worst West Ham teams in the last 10 years.
How would you rank these accomplishments if it happens? Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
We have the only striker to score in the MLS Cup final for us was Raul, I think, right?
No. So we've had only striker, yeah. Because I was gonna say Rodriguez scored. The only MLS Cup final goals we have is Rodriguez and Rui Diaz. It's okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the only striker to score in MLS Cup final is Rui Diaz, and then we have the only striker who should have won. Put an asterisk next to Robbie Keane, but the only striker who should have won MVP, Obafemi Martins.
Closest one, yeah.
And then Danny Musovski scoring against a Champions League winner. How would you rank those 3?
Oh fucking hell. What about we can't forget Tristan Bowen scoring against Tottenham?
Oh, dude, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Another striker.
Yeah, but Tottenham were poverty though.
No, they were an up and coming team that year. They were a Carabao. A Capital One Cup finalist team that year. Those young Harry Kane.
They're just inherently poverty.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, we'll let it go. Okay, honestly, I gotta keep 100. I think Musovski scoring in the Club World Cup has to be 1.
Would be 1 because I still think I would put Obafemi because that's a full season. That's a full season's worth. Like you could get lucky in a one-off game. I would do that. Then I would do the Musovski goal. Then
yeah, I agree. Rui Diaz is 3rd for me because his goal, like we were already up 2-0. Like,
yeah.
But I think Musovski scoring in the Club World Cup would be absurd.
Dude.
Because, like, imagine today, like, Musovski, like, he had such a big head when he scored 5 in straight games. Like, he was doing that stupid kick out on the player after the red card for no reason. And he thought he was him. And, like, imagine if he scores in the Club World Cup. Imagine how big his head's going to be.
Dude. We might have to give him Ferreira and him might have to change numbers after that. They should change numbers after that. Actually, they should change numbers now. Musovski's the actual 9.
The thing is he wanted it. Ferreira wanted to take 27, but it's because Bradilio had it, and then we just fucking cut his ass like 1 week later. So it's like,
yeah. I mean, he could. I guess yeah. Next season he could change. Imagine Musovski has over 10 MLS goals. Imagine telling us that at the start of the season, dude.
It would be a big flex if Sounders do better than Miami, just because Miami's group is so much more doable. Like, I still think Miami are fucked. Don't get me wrong, but their group is so much more doable.
What is their group again?
Let's look it up. I think they have Porto, Al Ahly, which is the team we lost to. And let's see. I'm pulling them up right now. Bear with me. Okay, here you go. And Palmeiras. It's way more
They're
doable.
finishing 4th in that group, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they finish above Porto. Porto's a bad team now. It's like one of their worst. Well, granted, still Porto's good. I think they could beat out
Where did
Al.
Porto finish?
Let's look. Liga. I think they're in third.
I mean, that's still like
Yeah, they're in
it's not
third.
the Porto that was
No,
dominating.
but it's third by like a long stretch. Like, so Sporting have 79 points, Benfica have 79 points, so that's first and second. And then Porto with 65.
But where's Inter Miami finishing in the Portuguese league?
Oh yeah.
Probably mid-table, maybe.
Maybe like 6th, 7th. Like, dude, but like, think about it. Victoria, Santa Clara, Casa Pia, Rio Ave. Like, they're better than those. Like, they have a better structure. They have a better squad. Boa Vista. Like, come on. Like, they're definitely
I think they take 4th, bro. Honestly.
So like, I think they have a chance. Like, okay, like we almost beat Al Ahly. If we weren't some scared pussycats, we could have beaten them if we actually took it to them. So I think they could win that. Porto, they could draw Palmeiras, and that might be enough. That might be all they need.
I wouldn't be surprised if the group finishes exactly how it's listed there. Palmeiras 1.
Palmeiras first? Oh wow.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like this group is kind of up for grabs, but
damn, what about our group?
I could just see Miami finishing 4th in this
Does our group go exactly what it looks like as well?
Dude, is there a harder group for any team? I think we have the hardest, like, our talent ratio compared to the rest of the group. I think we have the hardest.
And the thing is, too, like that's the worst part is we didn't think we would need to buy a striker after seeing
I
this
hope
group.
we don't sell. I hope we keep Obed for these games, and I hope Obed
I think we will.
I hope Obed has some sort of a good showing. And Pedro, and even, yeah, at least those two.
Hot take: we beat Miami in later this season. We do have that game, huh? How is that a real club group in the Club World Cup? Could LA be in it? Yeah, what do we think quickly? Do you think LA is going to beat Club America and get in the? This is the group they would be in. I mean, they're pretty much fucked either way. Where's the group? They're in Chelsea's. Wait, where's the group? Did they? Oh, they just don't have the graphic. But this is their group. It's Group D. They play this Tunisian team, Chelsea, and Flamengo. No, they're fucked. Yeah. They could finish third though. They could beat this Tunisian team. I'm pulling them up right now. Yeah, dude. This looks like some shit, like some like off-brand Arabic, like yeah. This ain't it. They could beat this team. I'll give them that.
They could.
Okay, he says, nah, Club America are gonna dog LAFC. Okay, fair enough. Boys and girls, this is gonna be the end of the stream. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button. I don't know how many likes we're at right now on the stream. Let me quickly take a look. We have 13 likes. There's like 28 of you watching. Like, let's get this, like, easily, let's get this thing over, like, close to 30 likes. Everyone, if you haven't, let's like the stream. We're gonna probably do a preview for the LAFC game. We'll talk about that game regardless of whatever happens. Portland will definitely have a preview. I might bring Rocky back again for that. Brody will go live post game for Portland, so everyone be ready for that. I want to see what time we'll be live at. I think the game's at 6:30, 8:30. Brody will probably be live at around 9. He'll probably be live at around 9 after the Portland game. So stay tuned. We have plenty of great videos. I know someone brought up Jamie Vardy to the Sounders. I think it was Angel. We actually have a video talking about that. Me and J Ross talked about it. Brody and I have a video talking about the Club World Cup. It's actually quite a funny watch. And then we also have a video talking about Ferreira and Rusnak. Who's better at the 10? Who should be starting at the 10? So yeah, guys, there's plenty of good content out. If you haven't already, make sure to smash the like button. Shout out to Jack. It's Taco Kid. Vamos Sounders. Yes, Angel, I'm probably the biggest Juice WRLD fan on planet Earth. So as you can see right there. Yeah. Saw him live twice. I'm probably the biggest Juice WRLD fan, and I will still be listening to his music till I'm like 70 years old. Yeah, make sure to smash the like button. Lots of great content coming out. And yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and we hope you all have a lovely day.